Just a few weeks after Trinity was tested, the United States decided to drop 2 atomic bombs on Japan. Okay, so hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, Ingrid Zahra. What's up viewers? How are you today? Hopefully in this recent weather that is actually very unpredictable, you guys can continue to take care of your health. So maybe you already noticed about in the title of this video. So yeah, we will discuss about Oppenheimer in today's video. By the way guys, about the Oppenheimer, last year, maybe you already know about this, in 2023,
Bruh.
the movie about Oppenheimer just came out and got pretty good review from the viewers. Oppenheimer was actually the most anticipated movie that was based on the true story of Robert Oppenheimer, or the father of the world-famous atomic bomb. With his world, now I'm becoming the destroyer of the world. What made Robert Oppenheimer regret his discovery? Don't worry, in this storytelling, we will discuss together. So if you are one of those people who feel like this 3-hour movie is too long, even though I'm pretty sure the movie came out pretty well and pretty good, but it's feel like, gosh, it seems too happy for me. Don't worry, I got you. Julius Robert Oppenheimer is an American theoretical physicist. He was born in April 22, 1940 in New York City, United States. And indeed, he comes from a very educated family, guys. So Robert Oppenheimer's father was an immigrant from Germany, guys, who was quite successful with his business importing textile. And from a young age, Robert already seen that he actually liked science. And he was so smart until he continued his study in the Harvard University in the field of chemistry. Wow. But guys, even when he studied in the Harvard University, his grades were never bad. They were really good. Finally, after he got his undergraduate degree in the 1925, he continued his study at Göttingen University in Germany, and he got his PhD in physics from Cambridge University in 1927. Wow! And when he got his PhD, guys, guess at what age was he? 25? No. 30? No. 40? No. Only in 23 years old. Then, well, the amazing thing about Robert is, eventually he became known not only in the university area, but when the Second World War started, Robert became one of the most important person in the United States government. In 1939, Albert Einstein wrote a letter that he sent to President Franklin saying that nuclear fission would create a very powerful new bomb. And finally, in 1942, Robert was appointed scientific director or a leader of the Manhattan Project, a top-secret research and development program aimed at creating atomic bomb. And to carry out this mission were also involved big names of leading scientists on Earth, such as Enrico Fermi, Richard Feynman, and Niels Bohr. And Robert, he even played a role in choosing who would be involved in this project, and which scientists would work in the main laboratory where the bomb was developed in Los Alamos, Mexico. Under Robert's leadership, on July 16, 1945, the Manhattan Project successfully developed and tested the first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, and this test was conducted in New Mexico in the desert. Trinity explosion showed that the atomic bomb was a very, very powerful weapon, very strong, and could be really used for war. Just a few weeks after Trinity was tested, the United States decided to drop 2 atomic bombs on Japan. Yes, little boy in Hiroshima on August 6, 1945. In Nagasaki on August 1941. The bombing caused 110,000 to 210,000 people to lose their lives, and the 2 bombs eventually caused Japan to surrender and end the Second World War. Yes, so after the end of the Second World War in the 1950s, Robert began to receive criticism from the people, especially left-wing political groups. Many people suspected that Robert was actually not loyal to the government, especially since Robert's younger brother and his wife were members of the Communist Party. Well, that is the family drama. Like a karma, not only the political people who began to dislike Robert, the general public also begins to be like, I don't think Robert's hydrogen bomb development was actually safe. Until finally in the 1945, Robert's permit was taken away. And that was the end of his involvement in the government scientific research. Even though he wasn't involved as before, but he was never silent. He always started the conversation. How to say involved and said the development of atomic bomb and its use must be with responsibility. But as time went on, the development of atomic bomb became more and more controversial. And Robert became one of the people who was actually very involved in the creation of the first atomic bomb. And he started to be like, what suddenly out of control. The thing that he made something out of his brilliant brain is how come it can suddenly harm others. He became concerned about the risk of the nuclear weapons until he advocated the international cooperation to control and prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. Well, his late regret is when he realized that his creation, his invention, was made to hurt each other, challenge each other, menace each other. Robert said his iconic word. He quoted the words of the Bhagavad Gita and said, "Now I am becoming that, the destroyer of the world."
He knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
In 1965, Robert Oppenheimer was diagnosed with throat cancer due to smoking and drinking throughout his life. 2 years later, on January 18, 1967, Robert Oppenheimer passed away at the age of 62. Although during his lifetime, Robert Oppenheimer received many awards, including the Enrico Fermi Award, the National Medal of Science, and the Atoms for Peace Award. And at the end of his life, Robert regretted his greatest discovery that changed the world. So Actually, guys, if we talk about history, of course, when I was reading about Oppenheimer, there are words like the atomic bomb dropped by the Americans in Japan that ended the Second World War. Which, if, for example, if we look back as Indonesian at the time, maybe we can say, yeah, thanks, because if there were no atomic bomb in that time, it might actually be a different story, right? But what we are talking about is a context where the discovery not only completed in Japan, like even though Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed, and yes, the government feel like, okay, this actually beyond our capacity, especially in the Nagasaki and Hiroshima areas. The residual radiation from the atomic bomb, the effects and the trauma are still there. Even many years later, children are still born with disabilities because of the radiation alone. And if we think about it, actually, war always starts with the most powerful people, between government of the countries, between the struggle of regional resources and others. But who gets the impact? The people. People like us, whose opinions won't even be heard if we say, government, please don't make a war. And how if suddenly our country at a war and we are bombed? Don't you understand? But I think this is what's interesting about history. So it's like we can see the world view, differences of opinion and discussion from others of things like, okay, what happened in Japan was very bad, and it's important that the effects of atomic bomb were that big and that bad. But on the flip side, there were those who benefited from the completion of the World War II and others. So guys, this is like a great discussion, a very interesting discussion, and maybe can be a great solution for you guys that already watched the movies. But when I saw the other people's vlogs walking around at the historical building at the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it was actually heartbreaking, you know. And you can probably imagine how they felt at the time. Anyway guys, we are at the end of this video and I want to ask you something. What did you think about that movie? And what did you learn about that movie? And maybe in this video, there is other important things that actually not included in this video. You can add it in the column below. And see you in another video. I hope you enjoy. Bye bye.